Hello to all my friends out there. So now I need some food for dinner. It's late, but I haven't eaten dinner. So I have a little tea left, thank heavens, cold tea. And in a minute, I'm going to make some macaroni and cheese. Yesterday or the day before, I did 5 items to stockpile: cereal, milk, oatmeal, baking mix, like for biscuits, pancake mix, you can make waffles. My recipes are on Twitter. Mashed potatoes, and you can make potato taquitos. So I had bought this at Walmart, and this would have been really good in my potato taquitos. You just make your mashed potatoes, and you make you roll your mashed potatoes inside. Don't get your potatoes too soupy. Inside of a corn tortilla and fry it, and that is really good with some soup. Okay, so now I have 5 more stockpile items. Pasta. I usually stockpile noodles and macaroni, but for spaghetti and for macaroni and cheese. So I used to wonder, why are all the preppers, why is macaroni and pasta such a big deal? Well, because you can whip up a little batch of macaroni and cheese. And tonight I'm making the macaroni and cheese on the cheap. All right, now you want to stockpile cheese. Velveeta cheese is good for lasting a long time, and it also lasts a long time in the refrigerator. Shortening or margarine. Margarine is best to go for first. Powdered milk or evaporated milk. Okay, and then I added green beans and cornbread, because if you stockpile your green beans and you have a little bacon fat, you can get by on green beans with bacon fat, or if you had bacon, that'd be terrific too. Salt and pepper and cornbread. And both TJ Prepper and Mornings with Granny suggested this. And when Mornings with Granny did a $5 challenge, and she had 3 challenges in one video, 3 really good challenges, and I wrote those in my notebook. And one of her ideas was the green beans with cornbread. And TJ Prepper also had a video tour of her food storage, and she mentioned salt and pepper. And she had a case of green beans and a dog under her bed. Very great video. And then ketchup, because if you're really broke, your ketchup will help you if you don't have that many vegetables. So, fortunately for me, most of my cleaning is the superficial type of cleaning. When I moved in the 4 days, there's my tea for tomorrow. Most of my moving was just moving my stuff, because I didn't have to do any deep cleaning, So now I have some deep cleaning left, but most of it is done. So now all I have to contend with, what one of my biggest problems is? Cleaning problems that I'm having to work on is the stockpile and the eBay inventory. And so about a week ago, I bagged most of the, you don't want your inventory out getting dusty. So, okay, now what I want to do is I want to make a small batch, just enough for one meal of macaroni and cheese. And I have 1 tablespoon margarine. I always keep at least 1 in the freezer. And I like these cereals from Walmart. They have them for $1. And after I open my cereal, I keep them in baggies, and I eat them down. I usually eat cereal in the middle of the night, and this is the way I keep my macaroni. And I have in there macaroni and noodles, and I buy the big ones at Dollar Tree for $1. So you want to stockpile pasta. Sometimes they give you, so I prefer this gold medal flour, but believe it or not, so I just want to add I want to sprinkle some on my margarine. And what I want to do is just cook that raw taste out of my out of my flour. Doesn't take long. You don't really want to brown it or anything. You just want to cook it a little bit. And this, believe it or not, going to make some good macaroni and cheese on the cheap. I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay, I was lucky, and you can't always do this, but this is my powdered milk. 1 can powdered milk, 12 ounces water. And I was lucky I found powdered milk in dented cans. So if you can locate things that you know you're going to need to eat, if you can find places that sell the bread, you know, marked down, you can buy better quality meat and things if you go for the markdown. Okay, so now I just want to add this is just for a little batch, just for me to eat tonight. Little by little, I want to add my heat is very high. If you're new to gravy making, you don't have to have it this high. But if it starts to get away from you, you can just lift it off of the heat. So what I'm making really is some white gravy. If you had bacon grease and you didn't have any shortening, or you had some kind of meat drippings, that would be fine. You could use powdered milk, you know, if you have powdered milk in your stockpile. And this is going to make some good macaroni and cheese, and it's going to be really, really cheap, and I'll show you why. What I did is I searched around town, and I found the sliced cheese, 16 slices for $1 at Food for Less. But they have good sliced cheese at Walmart for $1.48. It's probably better quality cheese. But I wasn't really that concerned with really good quality cheese. I just wanted cheese that will melt in my macaroni and cheese. And I don't want to spend much money on this macaroni and cheese. I just want a little meal tonight. And if you're new to me and you haven't heard about this, get yourself a little notebook and start writing this stuff down, because if you can imagine this. Okay, I just spent all these days doing egg stuff. You know, the egg, I just did an egg challenge. Where is my egg challenge? Anyway, I just did an egg challenge video, and I forgot top ramen egg drop soup. And you just make your top ramen. You mix your, you get your egg, and you add 1 tablespoon water, and you beat it until it's frothy, and you stir it into that top ramen. If you have chives, that's good. And you add salt, pepper, sugar. I saw one comment briefly. I was trying to stay on top of my cleaning and get it over with. And it said that they don't put sugar in their fried rice. You don't need sugar. But my friend's mother, she would go to Vietnam, and they would take meat to the ladies in the Buddhist temple, spam. And it was spam, peas and carrots, rice, salt, pepper, and sugar. And they liked hers the best. They use green onions, you know, fresh green onions. And that's the one that taught me the recipe. Straight from Vietnam, you guys. We have a lot of Vietnamese hair shops here. A bologna sandwich would be good with this too. I made 2 hot dogs. You know, I have a lot of hot dogs rolling around in my refrigerator. And you can also make hot dogs. You cook your hot dogs and roll them in your tortillas and make taquitos. I think it's a little cheaper than hot dog buns. They're pretty good. You know, you don't have to invest a lot of money in your food. It's not necessary. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop my cheese in there until I get my sauce cheesy enough. You could grate your cheese if you have a block. What you don't want to do is invest a lot of money in cheese and making a cheap little, all you need now after this, you know, you want to make a cheap little macaroni and cheese for yourself, and you have your hot dogs. See how my cheese, can you see how this might possibly be better than the Kraft macaroni and cheese you might get at the food bank, the ones you can buy yourself for 35 cents? I doubt this costs much more than 35 cents to make, and it's much better macaroni and cheese. And see how my cheese is, I think 2 slices is enough. And this is all there is to it, and you're not going to be starving out. So at 16 cents for $1, this would be about 10 cents worth of cheese. I bought the milk for 50 cents, so about 25 cents worth of evaporated milk. The milk generally is cheaper than the cheese, especially if you use powdered milk. So now most of my heavy cleaning is done. I have to give my car the once over too. It's really horrible. You know, with the feng shui, all these royalties that were gods had slaves to do all their feng shui. Sure is nice though when you get it done. I was telling my son the worst thing you can do is go through your stuff and start, you know, getting rid of your stuff that you might possibly need. You don't want to do that either. So if you stock your freezer full of cheese and hot dogs, then you know, it's pretty unlikely that you're going to be running out of food, you know. Okay, so this is 3/4 cup macaroni, and that's more than enough for one person. I mean, even if you were totally and completely starving, this would be enough. This is good, you guys. And then a little salt and pepper. And you know, you can buy hot dogs pretty cheap at Walmart or Aldi's. So this is a pretty cheap little dinner. Okay, you guys, God bless you all.